Welcome back to Dad's Deals and Dumbbells, the podcast where we talk fatherhood, business, health, fitness, and the daily challenge of trying to keep all the plates spinning in the air without dropping the one that has your sanity right on top.
That's right. That's important. We're two dads, one chiropractor, one lawyer, trying to build strong families, strong businesses, and maybe even once in a while, some strong core muscles. I could definitely use those this week.
I always need to work on that. Today's episode is going to be a good one because we are finally bringing in someone who has seen the full Mitch experience up close, maybe too close. Someone who once told me she loves Mitch so much because she can climb him like a tree.
Let's not get too personal.
Well,
or we could.
I did name today's episode the real COO of the Quill household, and when I told her, she told me that she's the chief officer of fucking everything.
Yep, I agree. This may have been a bad idea, so it's we'll see what happens. We're all a bit of a handful.
Yeah. We've got Mitch's wife here, Ella. She's joining us today. She's more than, of course, a wife. She's also a boss. She's a co-owner of Bolingbrook Family Chiropractic, a chiropractor herself, and probably the person who knows better than anybody what it takes to run a family, support a husband, and an entrepreneur, and this podcast. As well as keeping the business running and the family with the wheels still on it all.
But before we bring the COO of the household on, we've got to do what we always do and go over some wins and fails.
Wins and fails.
What do you have as far as a win or a fail?
I was thinking about this, and we had kind of a monumental thing happen in the family a little over a week ago, and that was my daughter, who's 17, went on her first date.
Oh.
And that's the response I've had from people. I consider it to be kind of a win because it was a big thing for her. And the kid's a nice kid. They're both. This is both a first date for both of them, and it went well. She was happy, and that's what that's what we want.
Good.
I was asked by somebody, "Are you going to clean your gun in front of him?" I said, "No."
You have to be in the underwear though.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah. So anyway, that was good. My real win, though, from this past week was I had a case that went to trial, and it was likely the first case in the state to go to verdict on that particular issue. So that was definitely a win for me. Kind of exciting as a lawyer. Very exciting.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Fails. Let's see here. Fail for the past week. Because of that trial schedule, my workout schedule went kind of right off the rails. I think I had like 4 days in the last 8 where I didn't work out. That was probably not the best choice.
Deload week.
It was definitely let's call it a recover week.
Recovery, deload, the same thing.
We all need that, right?
In lifting,
I don't think I needed 4 days, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Count it. So a fail. I'm a chiropractor with back pain at the moment, so I definitely could use some more core muscles.
If you only had a chiropractor in the family who could help you out.
I know, right? Darn. But there is a limitation of matter, and it does take some time for that stuff to heal. So on last Monday night, about a week and a half ago at this point, the kids wanted to play the monster game, which is basically just climb on dad.
Oh, okay.
And then dad tries to tickle them and wrestle and all that stuff. And I had 2 of them on my back trying to ride me like a horse. So I tried to rear back on the back legs, no issue at the time, but 10 minutes later, my back just started to seize up and get tight. I'm like, crap, not good. And the whole time I was thinking, I wonder what my patients feel like when they're playing with their kids and then they tweak their back, and now I know.
Now you know.
So yeah, that's the fail. And I would say the win is I've been able to get adjusted a couple times, did some soft wave on my back. It's been feeling a lot better, so I'm able to work out. Took a couple days off, but
that's awesome.
Slowly building back in. I've avoided some leg-based stuff, but so it's improving. So I'd say that's a win.
Did I ever tell you about the time when my kids decided we were in Salt Lake City? We were finishing spring break. Have I told you this story?
I don't think so.
My son, I don't know, he was probably maybe 9 at the time. I was acting like I was riding on his back, so he just had him between my legs and acted like he was carrying me around. He was getting a big kick out of it. My daughter thought this looked like a lot of fun, and she was probably, I guess, maybe 13, 14 at the time, getting to be full size for her. And so she decides to come without me realizing this is going to happen and jumps on my back.
Ooh.
And I kind of went over at an angle. I broke a rib.
Oh, no.
It was terrible.
Should I take a knee right to it?
It was something about how I was positioned, and I don't know. I don't even know how I did it. But I remember at the moment, I thought the wind was knocked out of me, and I was in excruciating pain. I went through the rest of the next 48 hours, including being in Salt Lake and flying home, with a broken rib. And then there was a moment where the fire alarm and the Airbnb went off, and I was disoriented with a broken rib and dealing with the fire department, and it was quite the escapade.
That sounds like a great movie.
Yeah, not one of my fire moments.
Yes.
So now she threatens me
With a knee?
with
Or
I'll break
with a
another
broken
rib.
Yeah.
Yeah, jokingly.
She knows how to get it?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So, well, I think this is probably a good time for us to take a quick break and then bring in the person, of course, that knows Mitch the best and tell us whether or not what Mitch tells us on a daily basis is full of shit or not.
Let's go for it.
All right. Joining us now is the real COO of the household, the Quill household, Ella Quill. Dr. Ella Quill is with us here in the studio today.
Yes. Thank you for coming. Glad you take time out of the very busy schedule.
Part of me kind of wonders how long you've been waiting for this invite, to be honest with you.
How long have you been waiting?
Oh, a little bit. Just a little bit.
You know, it's interesting since we started this podcast, and we don't have a huge viewer base, but I have certain people who are pissed that they haven't had an invitation to come and be on the show yet.
Well, hey. Should we make an application?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. But we talked about this before, and we have another guest that's going to be coming on in a couple weeks who is a woman, and we thought that the first one we ought to have on should be one of our respective wives before we have anybody else on.
Why wasn't Jamie first?
She's busy. She did not find it to be a priority like your wife did.
That's fine.
So
That's fine.
credit to Ella for showing up today.
I mean, opportunity to throw dirt sounds like a great time to me.
I will say, as Mitch's attorney in the elevator ride on the way down to the podcast studio, I started to have quite a few concerns about Mitch's overall safety in today's event today. But we will see how this goes.
There's
Either
space
way,
between us.
We'll survive.
So let's see here. You are a mom of 3 small children.
Yes.
Ages?
6, 5, and 3.5.
That sounds like pure chaos to me. I had 5 years between ours, and I never had to deal with the chaos at the level that you two do on a daily basis.
Did I mention the 3 dogs?
Yes. 3 French bulldogs.
Yes.
Yes.
12.
I think you're nuts for getting the
12,
third
10,
one. Plain and simple.
6 months?
Yeah, 12, 10, and 6 months.
Right? Mm-hmm. 6 months?
Yeah, Brew 6 months.
He's a massive 6-month-old.
Yeah. We have 2 COVID dogs, and I literally walked in yesterday and I asked my wife, can we give them both away?
I told you I would take your dogs.
No.
I also almost came home with a cat yesterday because there's a stray one that we've seen twice now. So I was trying to rage bait Mitch, and I was texting a group chat because, there was a gray cat, and Ellie wanted the cat. And
Nope.
I will
No, we
do
did
whatever that girl wants.
Nope.
So
I'm on Team Mitch here.
I mean, but rage baiting him is really entertaining for me.
No thanks.
I can see that clearly. And at times, I'm not sure if Mitch is safe by your rage baiting, to be totally honest with you. But it is highly entertaining to watch as a disinterested third party. So
I definitely second guess the happy wife, happy life thing constantly.
yeah. Good luck to you on that.
Really?
You are we're
Third
gonna
dog, happy wife, happy life. Yeah, it's great.
certain choices made along the way.
The
selling point.
He doesn't
you'll never have to
question
clean up
you being
anything.
happy.
Okay.
But I'm spot on that Belle is going to die this year.
She's getting old.
Yeah. So
I feel like this is you're causing something to happen by saying your dog is
manifesting
going
the
to
negative
die.
thing?
Yeah, why would you do that? How old is she?
12.
My pug made it to 16 and a half before we had to put her down.
We've had 2 in the house accidents recurring, and she started the left eye. There's definitely a tumor in there.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Well, let's stay away from the too much doom and gloom here for the show today. Outside of being married to this guy, you also are co-owner of Bolingbrook Family Chiropractic.
That is correct.
Small business owner, and we've heard a little bit from Mitch in the past about the story, but you certainly can tell from your perspective as well as far as locating a business to purchase, buying it, going in, and starting it all over, and what that was like for you.
I mean, it was never the plan to actually work together.
That was never the plan.
No.
I don't think I knew that.
No, that was never the plan.
Now, you guys graduated at the same time?
No, I graduated.
apart.
Nope, a year ahead of him. I've been practicing longer.
Oh, you're Mrs. Robinson.
I'm younger though.
You're younger, though.
I'm younger.
That's
Okay.
so not really Mrs. Robinson.
Okay. All right. All right.
But we ended up. I practiced in Texas for a year, and Mitch did a VA internship that he got because I was there, but he got to do 2 trimesters and I did 1. And then we had like this separation where I was practicing in like San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, and he was still down in Temple, Texas, doing the VA internship. And then I got offered to go to Chicago. So we decided that we had been in Texas long enough and we were like, maybe we don't want to like put down our roots here because we're still far away from family, yada, yada, yada. So we're like, yeah, let's see what Chicago's like. So he got an associateship in Des Plaines. I then worked for this company and then was fired from this company. Shocking, I know.
Chiropractic facility we're talking about?
Yep.
Okay.
It was a corporate situation. And so then I started working for another like doctor in Mount Prospect. And then she committed fraud with my license. Yeah, she committed fraud with my license. We were living together. His family was mad that we were living together before we were married because we don't value the Catholic morale.
Standard stuff.
It's pretty typical of Catholic family.
Yeah.
Right.
My dad was almost a priest, so and my grandpa was almost a priest, so they're ingrained.
My parents were also upset, but my parents were also upset that we got married by a Presbyterian priest at our wedding because, they support gay marriage. And how could you do that, Gabriella? You're the black sheep of the family. So as like the second youngest grandchild, like I was okay, but Mitch and I are both the oldest. So we were the first in the families.
The first disappointments.
Yeah. Truly. Truly, the first disappointments.
Well, somebody's got to do it.
Right.
I mean,
so
might as well be.
she committed fraud with my license, and then I ended up working part-time with the chiropractor that he was working for in Des Plaines, and then I was also working out of our CrossFit gym at the time, like doing like a little cash practice, very unsuccessfully. And then I worked part-time at Lululemon. So Mitch used to drive me to Woodfield Mall. He drove me to Woodfield Mall during Black Friday, Boxing Day, Christmas Eve, all
awful
of that.
Traffic.
Yeah. But, what are you going to do when you have $200,000 of student loans and you're sharing an apartment together? And, I couldn't just let Mitch pay for everything. So, yeah. Then we got married and got pregnant.
So wait. So in your story of how this all came to be, you're in Chicago. You have this terrible work experience. You're working multiple jobs to make the ends meet, right? You guys are living together at this point. You were practicing as a chiropractor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were also doing work comp review at the part-time remote work too. So
okay.
At night.
So you guys literally are grinding to get the bills paid, get the rent paid, stay on top of the student loans.
Yep.
Pre-kids.
Pre-kids?
Pre-kids as well. Yeah, pre-kids.
But we had the 2 dogs.
You said 200. Did you have 200,000 individually or together?
Oh, no, individual.
Individual.
We're sitting at like $1 million in debt right now, combined.
That's great.
Student loans.
No. Student loans.
Oh, you mean of everything?
Yeah, student loan, practice loan,
That's
EIDL.
good. It's an asset.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's yeah. Well, the student loan debt is a whole other conversation we could have on an entire show. But okay, so this chapter of your life, you guys are grinding away. You're getting the bills paid. You're doing what you have to do. Mm-hmm. How do you get to the point where the two of you decide to go into business together?
Well,
because for me, that probably would be the end of my relationship. Jamie, you probably don't even watch this, so you probably won't even hear that, but you know it's true.
Earmuffs.
So we got pregnant, and I had a conniption, and he was
But
on his.
we'd already been looking at practices.
Can I just tell the story?
Sure.
Mitch.
Thank you. This is funny. This is key. So he's on his way home from CrossFit, and I'm like, I need you to stop and pick up pregnancy tests.
Nope.
Picks up the pregnancy test.
No, at first I was like, which ones?
2 of them are positive. We go to work, and I'm like, Mitch, I'm going to need you to go out on lunch and get more pregnancy tests. So I took 5. They were all positive, but we weren't actually pregnant.
You weren't?
No, we were.
Okay.
No, we
you
were.
You were in disbelief.
I was in denial.
Different reality.
I got it.
Mitch was like, you've taken 5 and they're all positive. I'm like, we weren't really trying. I was doing some functional med stuff and we were trying to fix
For 1 month. Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
Functional med stuff. That means being off birth control. Is that what that means?
No.
I was never on birth control, but I had irregular cycles. So I was doing some stuff to regulate my estrogen and progesterone. And I was doing some estrogen dumping. And it shortened my cycle enough that we got pregnant.
So it was a miscalculation based
Yes.
upon
But
science.
she's like, oh, we should probably in time. We should probably start getting ready, culling the soil to get ready to have kids in the next couple of years. We should plan that. So I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then It's like it's a thing. And then like functional medicine's more like looking at blood work, looking more like optimal levels versus like a normal lab value.
Okay.
So like you go to Quest, right? You get your lab values. That's not like yes, according to that lab, that's the normal value based on the population of people that they see. But when you do functional medicine, you're looking at more optimal levels of hormones and things like that, which are like I would say actual normals.
See, this is where knowledge of medicine. You guys are beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
But my knowledge of how people get pregnant might be beyond the two of you of the basics, because I know where the danger zone is.
Yes. The problem is like if like in her instance, if her hormones were out of whack, then her cycle's not going to be accurate.
Yeah,
Or
no,
if
I
her
follow
hormones
you.
Under whack, like under control, then. Bang.
So you had one aim, and then there was a. Do we call it a miscalculation? What do we call it?
I mean, I went from like a 32-day cycle to a 28-day cycle.
The actual cycle.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could, but I mean, this is also why we have Ellie and Addie 15 months apart, and then we have Henry and Ellie at 21 months apart.
I really feel like maybe a basic science class for you guys, just to bring it back down.
It's also COVID.
Well, there's not a lot to do. I mean, a lot of us drank a lot during that time period, but there were a lot of babies too. I got 2 dogs at that time. That was stupid.
Right.
So, all right. So you get pregnant
Circling
by
back.
accident with number 1, right? Which ultimately becomes Addie. And during that time, how do we get to the point where you decide to go into business because you already have enough crap on your plate? I don't mean that because you're having a child, but you're having a child unexpectedly. So
Essentially, where we were working, our contracts were going to end the same month that we were due. So there was like
so you knew work was coming to an end, and you weren't going to try to stay there.
Correct.
Okay.
And so then we looked at like me purchasing a practice and trying to get Mitch to stay on at the current position, but that wasn't an option. So then it turned into, I guess we're going to look at practices. So we did our due diligence. We were trying to stay in the Schaumburg, like Arlington Heights area, and what was around there was not viable, meaning that the bank was not going to give us a loan, and we were broke with no money.
Because it wasn't a business either.
Right. So we ended up driving down on a Thursday night, met the former owner of Bolingbrook Family Chiropractic, found out that him and his wife were expecting their third, and like there was like a 2-day difference between our due dates. Him and Mitch drove the same car, different year, like literally down to the color. Like
Blue Honda Accord.
Really? Okay.
There's just a lot of similarities. They also met in school, all the things. He was from Wisconsin. They were going back.
She was from Wisconsin.
She's from Wisconsin. He's from Iowa. There we go. But like similar practice style, which is very rare to find in like a husband-wife couple. And Mitch is a big dude. Dr. Tyler is a big dude. And so they were seeing big dudes. And like that is kind of a hard thing, which is where like we have people that seek out our practice because they're like, my husband's like 300 pounds. I think your husband could
adjust him.
Yeah, could adjust him.
Not a problem.
I mean, I had a patient last week say that to me, that she's been trying to convince her husband to come in because he's a big guy that's in the union, and like he doesn't feel like anything ever pops when he sees their chiro or their former chiro. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Mitch could do that.
I got you.
Like,
All right, so you're in that position. Your contracts are coming to an end. You start looking. You guys just randomly are like, hey, let's just go into business together.
I don't think we had an
Like
option.
A necessity.
All right, so because you were talking about the loan piece of it, so at some point you guys had done the research on the funding part.
So my mom,
or were you working with somebody?
My mom works for a bank.
Okay.
And then she hooked us up with her like small business lending that
Okay.
specializes in like PT, dental, and medical.
Okay.
And because there was a branch in East St. Louis of their regional bank out of Missouri, they're like, oh, since you're in the
you're in
same
Illinois.
state,
Yep.
to be able to like make deposits,
They can do the funding.
They could fund the
Okay.
loan. And then because they specialize in medical, dental, and PT, where there's like people are graduating with a lot of debt, they don't have a lot of capital
Yep.
to make a payment. So they would, at the time, it was in 2019. I don't know if they would do it now, but you get a loan, a conventional loan with SBA, no % down.
Yeah.
And so
To answer your question, one of my side jobs on the board of directors for a bank,
Yep.
those kinds of specialty lending things do still exist.
nice.
And if you're in one of those professions looking to acquire business, to get funding, whether you're a nurse practitioner, a pediatrician, chiropractor, what have you, if you find a specialty bank or lender, the process is much more smooth because they understand how it works too.
Yeah.
So that had to be a huge asset for you guys.
I mean, team nepotism here. Like it
But
worked out great.
But that got us the connection. The business was a business, which is what sealed the deal. Like,
Yeah,
if it wasn't a business, then they weren't going to lend to us no matter what,
And
no matter who we knew.
we had a guest on previously who was a small business lender, and he talked about the fact that it's much easier to get funding for an existing business than to start one from scratch. To buy one, identify what the shortcomings are of that, how you're going to take it and turn it profitable or make it more profitable and so forth. So that's what you guys went through.
Yep.
So you decide you're going to go into business. Do you guys write a business plan? Do you guys actually more directly for the relationship between the two of you, because it's the first married couple we've had on the show that has a business together. Did you guys talk about who was going to be responsible for what? You didn't then. I could tell by the looks on your faces. You should see the looks on their faces. Does that exist now? Nope, it doesn't exist now either.
Loosely-ish.
So I'm obviously not involved in the business. I would tell you from an organizational standpoint as a lawyer who perhaps you consult with from time to time, it might not be a bad idea for you guys to have well-defined roles and for you to each respect each other's roles, and it might make it easier for when there are discussions and
Which is
disputes.
what we're in the middle of doing this year.
I mean, that's not exactly true, Mitchell. There are roles and responsibilities that were established in 2019, but we have this really—
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, we have this really fun dynamic of I'm always knocked up or I'm always with my kids. And so that—
Luckily, that shop's closed.
that gives the presentation to certain individuals that they think that Mitch is in charge of the things, and he's not.
Yeah.
So we had a situation in 2019 that when we set up our business, I was very specific that I wanted a LLC that filed as an S corp.
Sure.
And Mitch was in BNI, and we used a BNI bro as our accountant, and BNI bro did not agree with the percentages of the business and what I wanted, so he made us a partnership instead of an LLC. And
So wait, you guys are currently set up as a partnership?
no, we are set up as an LLC. But
Okay.
then in 2019, when we had to go pay our tax bill on December 31st,
You had a nasty. Yeah, okay. I got you.
we had a very nasty tax bill. But then
That was also because the accountant.
yes, anyway, so we paid that to the IRS and it went into the ether and did not go to the LLC that we had set up. It just floated because the accountant had made it a partnership and everything else we had documented was an LLC. So the IRS was like, we will take your money, but it's going nowhere. And it's just going to hang out in space. And then you're going to get letters for penalties because there was a miscommunication between the accountant and the—
But at that time, there were two accountants.
So this is the top tip for people who are listening to this, not to, for you guys to wallow in your misery of the whole thing. But I see on Facebook, we're in a group together for another community page, right? And every so often I see someone post and say, hey, I'm thinking about starting an LLC. Should I use LegalZoom or whoever or whatever? That could be perfectly fine, and if you know exactly what you need, right? Likewise, using a professional to set it up too really depends on if the person knows what the hell they're doing. I cannot stress strongly enough when people set up businesses, if this is going to be something beyond a very, very small home-based business, especially when you're doing something like what you guys are doing, to have a lawyer and a CPA who you're passing everything by. The CPA to make sure on the tax side it's going to work. A knowledgeable CPA who works with businesses. Huge difference.
1,000%.
So the first accountant set us up as the partnership, but then we got a new accountant once we moved here, and then they didn't account for us basically taking over an existing profitable practice. And her thought was, oh, it's your first year in business. You're not going to make a profit. Don't worry about making any payments. And all
Materially misunderstood what was going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the second accountant but then that money obviously went into limbo. When I called the IRS, they're like, oh yeah, I see the money, but it's not attached to anything. And I was like, how does that work? It's just sitting off in the middle of nowhere, not attached to either of these places.
Either account or EIN.
I just had this weird vision of, I don't know, a dollar sign off in space. I'm like, how is this not attached to anything right now?
Well, that's aggravating for sure. Yeah. So that's how you got to start off the business.
It was a great start. And then COVID happened the second year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's not like you guys have to have in-person contact with patients. Wait a minute. That's kind of a thing, isn't
That's
it?
literally what we do.
It's literally what you
But
do.
then we had patients that were like, oh, yeah, I feel more comfortable seeing you guys because we're like there's 2 people in this entire office. We're wiping down everything in front of them.
Right.
At the time, depending on mask mandates, we're masked or not. But like patients, and plus patients like ghosted for 2 weeks. Then they would be sitting they went from their perfectly ergonomic setups at their office and then to literally a coffee table and couch and wondering why their backs hurt. Like, and they had headaches and stuff, and all this other stuff.
Did you guys see an increase in business during COVID?
Yes.
I mean, people are stuck at home. There's not a whole lot to do. They have more time for appointments.
After like 2-3 months, we definitely had an increase.
Yeah. Same thing? You disagree?
Mm-hmm.
What do you remember?
So technically everything we're going to have is an increase because we purchased the practice in 2019 in April. So everything like exponentially grew.
You couldn't attribute it specifically to COVID and people having more time because they're not going out to eat or going to kids' activities after school because all that stuff was canceled.
Are you saying compared to zero?
I was talking to you about my best friend Claude, and it's like in there about like the number of new patients that increased year over year and the number of adjustments. Like we doubled the practice from 2019 to 2020.
So, but in retrospect, do you feel like definitively you can attribute that to the normal marketing efforts you guys were doing, or did anything have to do with COVID? Do you have any sense of it?
I really don't because we weren't running marketing.
Yeah.
We couldn't.
Okay.
We had so many restrictions depending on what tier we were in the state that like everybody took a hit in COVID and we technically didn't.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, like, and we had new patients coming into us because they literally couldn't go anywhere else.
Right.
Like they couldn't be seen at Bolingbrook Hospital. They couldn't be seen at Edwards. Like I had a cancer case where she came in. She's like, I read online that chiropractic could help with shoulder pain. And she had every clinical sign of breast cancer. And I'm calling all of these offices trying to get her in. And they're like, we can't take new patients. And I'm like, she has pain at night. She had blood and black oozing out of her nipple. She had a mass that came out of her chest. Like this is literally every hallmark sign of breast cancer. And they're like, we cannot perform mammograms at this time. And I'm like literally screaming on the phone to some nurses being like, you literally know what this is. And like, we're sorry, we can't take a new patient. I'm like, this is insane to me.
Wow.
And then she ended up getting scheduled at Northwestern for imaging. And it was the day of the riots in downtown Chicago. And we never heard from her again. But like she wouldn't have come to a chiropractor had it not been COVID and the fact that she could not get into anybody else.
She had very little choice.
Right. She's like, my Google search said that you could help me with some shoulder pain. And I'm like, I can't help with shoulder pain, but I can't help with shoulder pain from like this cause.
Mm-hmm.
Not that one.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's interesting to think back to that. I think for the most part, businesses and government did the best that it could at the time with the information it had. I don't think anybody had malicious purposes. I wonder if we went through it again, how different the decisions would be from business to government to schools to social circles and so forth.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some people would be like, science doesn't exist, so I'm going to do whatever I want. I think that would be some people's reactions. But yeah, that's interesting. Crazy.
I mean,
definitely interested to see the spectrum.
Try put yourself in that person's shoes. How incredibly stressful that must have been.
I mean, it's crazy because it is literally every textbook sign of cancer. And like I'm fighting with doctors, nurses, and they're agreeing and they're being like, but we're not allowed to take new patients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about the dynamic the two of you have between co-owning a business and co-running a family. Do you guys have specific things that you guys are responsible for at home?
Mm-hmm.
Taking out the trash, doing dishes, running the shuttle. The kids, shuttling kids around. It's going to get worse, by the way. If you guys don't have after-school activities, it gets substantially worse.
I'm the
in a couple
shuttle.
years.
I am taxi.
On Mondays and Wednesdays and Thursdays, yes.
Well, so because you guys have an interesting dynamic because you have to keep the business running. Presumably one of you is going to be there during open business hours for the most part?
Not always, but like Tuesdays, we're open on Tuesdays, but we're not in the office right now.
Okay.
Well,
So-
I was in the office this morning.
Sure.
See,
correct.
there you go.
But right now,
But
it is open.
so when you guys are figuring out the schedule, I presume you guys are coordinating both business and kids and everything else all together.
Essentially, it comes down to who's going to produce more per hour, and that's the person that's working.
So is that literally how you guys figure out who's going to
Basically.
do what jobs?
Basically. Like, so currently I practice 9 to 4 on Monday. And that is like my only long day. And every other day is a half day. And all the rest of my stuff is patient cares from 9 to 12. 12 to 2 is admin. If things go my way during the day, I can leave. I go work out between 2 to 3:30. And then I'm getting the kids by 4 o'clock. And I'm doing the rest of that. Most of my patients don't come into the office until 9, 10 o'clock. So that's like an ideal start time for me. He has patients that see him consistently at 7:30 in the morning. So his longer days are Monday, Wednesday. And over the years, that has changed. But essentially, our children's bedtime routine is structured around when dad gets home. And we work longer days, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, for the longest time. When we bought the practice, we were doing Fridays. Then we got rid of Fridays in COVID, and
6 a.m.s.
and 6 a.m.s. And then
I'm sorry, you're in 6 a.m.
appointments.
Monday, Wednesday, we had 6 a.m. appointments.
It was 6 a.m. to 7 p.m.
We were slammed from 6 to 8 a.m.
Yeah. Because
busy.
people were commuting, so they would get adjusted on the way out of Bolingbrook and drive into the city.
Or on their way in too.
So that's what the market demanded, and that's what you guys did.
Yeah. Well, we had taken it over that way. Then once COVID happened, we're like, all right, I want an extra hour of sleep.
Okay.
There's no one commuting, so I'm like, all right, I'll take an extra hour of sleep.
So at some point, you made the conscious decision to cut out the 6 a.m. for sanity.
But also it was COVID, so people didn't need to come in at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So based on necessity, it just wasn't there.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So as time goes on, I presume as you need to make adjustments, the two of you make adjustments to the schedule between work and home, and you continue to evolve.
That's how he has Tuesdays off.
Yeah.
Because he took over. We decided to open up Fridays again, so he does a half day on Friday. So he swapped his half day on Tuesday for a half day on Friday.
And I'm assuming this is a piece of advice you would give to any couple who's going to go into business together, because this is a unique situation, obviously. There's not a lot of couples that work together, that own a business together, that also have kids, little kids that they're raising as well. And you guys have figured out a way to do it for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's important for everybody to have their individual day off and then their individual CEO day. And I don't really get that. I get a series of half days, but a lot of my administrative time, I have to be in the office, but not actually patient facing. So I have days where I'm patient facing. I have time periods of that day that's administration. And then I have non-patient facing days, but I'm still cranking out work. So, I mean, somebody has to do payroll, somebody has to do QuickBooks, somebody has to go back and recategorize everything. Somebody's doing cloud projects, the incident reports and all of the things don't get done by a VA. They could be done by a VA, but they wouldn't be the way that I want them done, so I should just do them.
And a VA for the listening public is a
virtual assistant.
There you go. Let's take a quick break, reset one of the cameras here, and then let's move on to the next topic here.
Yeah.
All right, Ella, motherhood. How did it change you? Are you the same person you were before you became a mom?
No. I think...
Are you wiser now?
No.
Are you more tired?
Yeah. I think motherhood was a really big shift for me because I'm not going to say it killed the people pleaser in me because I'm still a people pleaser, but it definitely gave me more of a backbone to make decisions that I didn't want to make. And you don't fuck with my family is basically where we're at. That is what motherhood did. It allowed me to be able to be a little more aggressive or assertive, whichever way you want to look at it.
Did it change you in terms of business?
Yeah.
How so?
Oh, I love work. I am a workaholic.
Do you love work because it gives you a break from being a parent?
No, I love work because I love what I do. I love helping people. It changed how I work. Addie was born with a tongue tie, and that was on a population. I was seeing pediatrics, but I wasn't specifically seeing pediatric cases with tongue ties. And as a chiropractor, each individual profession I feel like has a stigma, right? Like we get the whole quack. It's like very common in the chiropractic profession. Like you have a home birth. Controversial things like vaccines. Like there are just things that people assume that chiropractors do. And like that was one of them. Like you have a home birth and you breastfeed your babies, and then like you wear your babies to the office, and like
And everything's great.
I'm very serious. Like there's chiropractors that like practice in bare feet, and they wear like flowy gaucho pants, and like they're baby wearing in the office, and
With fedoras too.
yeah, it truly, like it really is a thing. And so like
Yeah.
Totally
No, I'm
hipster-
aware.
hipster
Trust
stuff.
me.
I'm sure you are. And so like that's one of those things that like as a female chiropractor, like it is just assumed essentially that like you will have a home birth, and it is just assumed that you will breastfeed your kids. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like I pushed through that home birth. It was quite awful, but I did it. But like my baby won't feed. And now like I have cracked and bleeding nipples, and my baby is a failure to thrive. And like over my dead body, am I feeding my baby formula? Because here's all the reasons why I can't. And I'm not saying that's right, because it's not. But like that changed my patient population, and now we very heavily in the practice like work with kids with tongue ties. Like we've built relationships with lactation consultants, we've built relationships with myofunctional therapists and speech therapists and pediatric dentists and all these things that like.
So it sounds like your personal experience kind of elevated your understanding of what patients were dealing with.
100%.
Definitely relatable. On
I
both
mean,
ends, too.
Even each associate that I've had has said like after having their first child or their second child that they're now able to relate to their patients on a completely different level that they weren't able to do before. And I'm not saying that you can't be a pediatric chiropractor or prenatal chiropractor and be a man or be a female that has not had children, but it definitely brings a different level of empathy and relatability to your patients that like I just like didn't have before. And having 3 children brings a completely different level of empathy to my patients that are going through like having their second and navigating like I have my first and now I have my second, and how do I do all these things? Or now I have 3 kids and I'm home by myself and I have no support. Like it just, each individual child has provided more and more empathy and relatability, but also in the same touch, like it's completely changed how like I practice, because now where work was my everything before, like I love work. I would be at the office with Mitch at 6:30 in the morning, pregnant, working the front desk. Like we would be there until 7:30 at night, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, like I have to be home by 3:30.
Your priorities have been realigned.
Definitely shifted.
Yes. And it's very hard because I love the afternoon shift, and I can love sometimes to stay at the office until 7, but like that's just not my reality right now. And like the mathematics of that, of like, this is how many patients I would have to see in order to financially be able to do this. And then it's like, okay, I'm going to give that a good old college try. And it's like, oh, well, for the last 3 months, like I haven't really averaged enough patients. Or even I could have the correct number of patients scheduled, but if for them to actually keep their appointment, like is not worth it financially for me to be at the office past a certain time.
Sure.
And like that is just something that we didn't have to do when we were happy and single and we only had dogs and we could leave them in
A
their...
more simple time.
Right.
It was a more simple time then, before the children.
So reminds me of Ellie.
BC, before children.
So the way you say it is like Ellie had there was something that she said at school, and then
I
they're
can
like,
tell you
Ellie,
the story.
Oh, she got a kiss from a boy at school, and
she
I was
didn't
like,
want
Ellie,
to be kissed.
yeah, she wanted to be kissed. I was like,
Oh.
like when was this? She was like, it was a different time. Like, what do you mean a different time? Like today, last week? She's like, a different time. I'm like, okay.
And Mitch goes, did you want to be kissed? And she goes, no.
No.
All right, then.
Like, how dare I ask that question?
How dare you?
That was pretty fun.
How dare you? All right, so let's talk about advice you can give for whom our core audience is. What advice do you have out there for dads that are trying to be a good dad and an entrepreneur or professional?
Oh, I
How
love
do they balance that? What advice do you give to those dads?
I love a good habit stack. So like,
Are we pulling up the hack? The mom hack?
I mean, it's part of the mom hack, but I love a good habit stack.
And what is a habit stack?
So in our house, we get home at 4:00 and you're getting a snack, but you're doing something sensory. So like we have a trampoline in our house. We have a little rocker. Mitchell now got on TikTok shop or Instagram.
Facebook.
We have a suction punching bag. That's been the bane of my existence the last 48 hours.
It's like a speed bag.
Yeah, and
suctions
Henry
on the
can
window.
suction it anywhere. And
To the window?
to the wall.
That seems like a terrible idea.
He missed the millennial joke there.
I know, I heard it. I just was going to glaze right over it.
And so that's like for us, like we live in a routine and we break everything up. And for us, like everything kind of comes from a little bit of like this developmental functional lens. So it's like you're getting off the bus, I'm feeding you, I'm giving you something with protein, I'm giving you something with fat. I will acquiesce to gummy snacks even though I hate it. But then like you're going to do something sensory and then we're going to sit down and we're going to do our task. And if you need to break it up and we can go do something sensory, great. So like we have a sensory swing in our house. We have the trampoline. We now have the punching bag. But anything and everything we can do, I have a vibe plate. So like my kids will watch TV and eat a snack and stand on a vibe plate. I think maybe I sent you a video of Henry's little cheeks.
You did.
But
Yeah.
You did.
that is like, if you can put your kids in a routine and you can give them healthy habits to stack in that routine.
Okay.
That would
Now I
be,
follow you.
that is the habit stacking.
See, you guys parent on a level that has more
most
planning
don't
and methodical approach than I think, well, certainly than my wife and I do. We kind of, I don't know.
I would call it a job hazard or a job perk, whichever way.
Yeah,
you say it.
I mean,
we
yeah.
understand the benefits,
Right.
Of, not the benefits of like, yeah, there's a benefit of doing like 3 things at once, but then there's also a benefit of like, the point of having them have some sort of physical.
Yeah, the whole
after
vibration
school.
plate thing, as soon as Ella told me about it, I was like, that's more chiropractic witchcraft.
No, well,
I
luckily,
didn't have a clue what it was.
Luckily, with the chiropractic witchcraft, there's evidence-based scientific studies that back up the witchcraft.
So
It's
habit
gone from
stack,
witchcraft
that's
to
the key
science.
piece of advice.
So you could, and this has been done in the Quill household, you could use your red light box and be on.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I don't have one of those. What
You
is
could
that?
use your red light
should.
box and you could be on a vibe plate drinking your salty water supplement while watching TV. And I have now hit red light, OT, like spinal thalamic tract, like working on vibe sensation with the screen time, with getting fats and protein in, all in a 15-minute increment. And like that is a win in my book.
That is.
That is
So the hack is this habit stack.
habit stack,
Do multiple things at once that have cross benefits.
cross benefits, good habits,
Yes.
How
opposed to
how could
like smoking and drinking at the same time.
Well, that is. I
mean, that's
would
a
call
habit
that
stack. It
habit
kinda goes the other
stack.
way.
But is it a detrimental habit stack? Depends. Depends on how much you're drinking.
I mean, depending
much
on what
smoke
gym
meat
you're
eating.
at, you could be working out and high at the same time.
That was this morning. Not me, but at the gym. There was someone like I went to the locker room and literally smelled weed. the
This
second
seems
I
like
walked in the locker room.
I mean, certainly is not my bread and butter area of expertise. But that seems like a terrible idea.
It depends on the person.
Although there is someone in
Some
my
people like
office
doing
who
it. I don't
enjoys
get
a good margarita, and then they will work out.
Yeah, that's risky.
That sounds like a terrible idea to
I
me.
agree with you. That's what I keep saying, but I'm not the doctor.
As long as we're not doing single leg stuff, that's good. But, like,
You would think though, like that you would not smoke marijuana and then go
there's some
lift
people
heavy
that
stuff,
like-
and people
some-
do.
Some people love it. I don't
I know.
understand.
But then if you stack a creatine gummy, that is a great habit
Then there you
stack.
go.
Weed gummy,
your steroids,
creatine
there you
gummy,
go.
and some working out at the same time.
Stack again with steroids. There
Yeah.
you go. But I think
Fantastic.
there's got to be some sort of like vasodilation thing going on.
I don't even know. Let's not go there.
Someone said it was like decreasing in like pain sensation, so you can get more effort into your sets. I don't know, but
Well, let's shift gears a little bit here, and I know a little bit about your workout routine, and I would say with no hesitation that you probably are more dedicated and scheduled in terms of your workout regimen than probably anybody I know. I know you're more regimented than Mitch, I think, because you have days off, right, Mitch?
Team no days off.
kind of, yeah.
Do you ever have
In
days
that
off?
way, yes.
No.
Yes, I didn't think so.
She needs to get it. She needs to get a workout in every day.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, it's
the
part.
whole world falls apart.
It's part of how you function, is what I
Yes.
gather.
Yes.
So tell the listening public what do you do to stay sane as far as health, fitness, working out?
I lift heavy shit. Sorry. I lift heavy shit. That's what I do to stay sane. But starting in 2024, again, this is not marriage advice, and this is not business advice. Do not do what Ella did. But I have a habit that I've broken, kind of I will inform Mitch that I am going to go do something.
That is not broken in the slightest.
And so I told Mitch, I was like, I am going to go look at Lifetime in Warrenville. I'm just going to go do a tour. And he was like, okay. And then he gives me all the reasons why we cannot sign up for Lifetime. And I was like, I'm not really interested in hearing your feedback right now.
Cool. This is a time to listen, Mitch, not to participate in the conversation.
What was that?
Exactly.
And so I went and I signed us up for Lifetime.
Oh, both of you.
Had you gone with the intent to sign up, or was it actually just to look?
Oh,
And
no,
you're
I
like,
went.
oh,
I
so-
know I went with the intent to sign up.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
So you just weren't honest about it.
No.
So
Is this like when Mitch went out and bought the Tesla and didn't tell you?
Fuck yes.
There's good decisions.
We now-
not so good decisions.
We now have
The gym was
we have a
very good
dollar
decision.
limit of like when you have to
okay.
inform each
All
other
right.
of the spending. And
Any good partnership has a discretionary
An allowance
spending
amount.
limit, right?
And he blew that dollar limit out of the water. Therefore, like, as long as I am under that number, I win.
Count it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
see
Right.
that.
So,
Yeah.
anywho, I went. So, at the time, our associate was in my ear about this ladder app. And she was
Yes.
showing me this coach, and she was like, this is what you need to do, da 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 da. And at the time, I was like drowning in postpartum with 3 kids, couldn't get out of the house. We had dead nanny. Now we had in home people. We haven't told you our dead nanny
Oh,
story.
I told you this one. She was an alcoholic.
She died.
Not in your house.
No.
No.
Oh,
I was like pregnant with
so
Henry.
that's
and
going to be a movie.
I was pregnant with Henry, and she didn't show up.
Oh, wow.
And like disappeared for 2 weeks, and apparently she had been in rehab, and we didn't know that there was an
that's
alcohol
terrible.
problem. And then she was like, I want to come back and watch your kids. And I'm like, we can't do that anymore. Like, I'm sorry. Like, we care about you. But like, you just ghosted for 2 weeks, and like, we consider that job abandonment.
Oh, wow.
Another one of those things where we had to contact a lawyer when we didn't think we would ever need to contact a lawyer. It's like a problem of ours. And then she actually ended up, this is really creepy, but she ended up passing out and dying like the same day that Henry was born, or like days after he was born. Yeah.
Wow.
From alcoholic fatty liver disease. Anyway.
Wow.
So with that, like,
That's one hell of a tangent from your workout routine, but
Always.
let's go back to that.
always,
Circling back.
I was in this state of working full time, and then not having help in the afternoons. And I was
Okay.
I need to be able to go somewhere where I can take the kids. Where can I go with the kids? It's not going to cost
So
me
this
an
is
arm and a
kind of a
leg.
genius move, I have to say.
Yep.
And I know that's part of the reason why you got it. And for the listening public out there, part of your membership also includes childcare for your 3 children.
Yes, and it is down to, it is $40 a month for 2.5 hours a day per kid. So we pay $120 a month for 2.5 times 30, 75 hours of childcare,
Pretty good hourly rate.
which comes down to $1.86 a day.
We're
I-
there every
And
day.
because you use it regularly is really
Yes.
the bottom line.
But even still, even if I say I only went 3 times a week, the compounding of that, I cannot find anyone to watch my 3 children for $120. Like, that's literally
So-
like a night out.
As a parenting, I will tell you that probably is one of the best parenting hacks I think we've heard, because purely from to have the opportunity to, we hear all the time from people who have small children that their health is not a priority, working out's not a priority. The only workout they get is what they do with the kids, maybe walking around the block in the stroller and what have you.
Right.
You figure out a way with a local gym that has a premium price, but when you factor in the cost of membership, what you get out of it, and the childcare element, you found a way to make it work.
100%.
That's a hell of a parent hack.
I would say the ROI on $1.80 a day for to watch 3 kids, like, is a no-brainer.
Right.
People are like, oh, it's expensive. I'm like,
However,
it depends on what you value at this point.
I mean, but it also like for me, because, and you know, like you said this earlier, but I am literally there every day. So it cost me $6.20 a day to go to Lifetime.
It's a good price.
Right. Plus my $1.80. So for me, I can't. Yeah,
it's remarkable.
Like the amount that it's given back to me, like the improvement in my mental health, like the savings that I have on not having a counselor, like the ability to like lose weight, feel better about how I look. Now, Mitch will argue with you that my cost of workout clothes maybe eclipses
the workout clothes plus having to buy new clothes that actually fit now, which I'm also
let's
put it on record, I'm not complaining at all about that. So
this is the reality is that as you work out more, you wind up acquiring more things. I have more spandex than any man should ever own. I do. Part of cycling. I mean, it's just kind of the way it goes.
Aerodynamics.
You don't need to see it, but there's a lot.
Right. So I guess I guess it goes kind of back to like my habit stacking a little bit of that too. Like I'm going to the gym, and if it is a Friday through Sunday, like I will go to the gym and I will go run for an hour. You've seen me run for an hour. I will listen to a podcast. I will like do some sort of training on my phone. Like I will stack other work stuff with it so that like I'm using my time there wisely. I have taken work calls at Lifetime. Like I have done Zooms. I've done like our regular Wednesday 1:30 marketing meeting. Like that is either it's always either in the gym or in the parking lot of the gym. Like
you're making the most out of your time.
Yeah,
clearly.
like that's. Yeah. I don't have any choice.
All right, so what advice would you have for people out there, men or women, frankly, who are not as active as you are? How do they get started? What advice would you give them?
Go lie to your husband and get a gym membership. I mean, truly,
that's one way to do it.
That is a way to do it for sure.
It worked out really well in my case.
But so when you pulled that trigger and did that, were you already working out like that?
No, I wasn't.
Because you're not working out at a normal rate. I mean, you're working out basically 7 days a week.
Right, and so
which is not normal. You recognize that, right?
But we had done previously. We had done a lot of CrossFit together, like before. Like we had been busy and active, but not with kids, not 7 days a week.
Right, so to be clear, you have 3 small children. Small children. You own a business. Mm-hmm. You have 3 dogs, which is absurd. You have 3 dogs, including a puppy, and you're still working out 7 days a week. And during that time, you are maximizing the time by doing other things as well.
1,000%. So I don't remember who said this. Some coach somewhere said, like, if you show me your calendar, like, it will show me your life. It will show me your priorities. And basically, like, everything in my day has to be accounted for in order for me to succeed. And everything in my week has to be accounted for in order for me to succeed. And if I'm not planning time in my day on a regular basis for my health, like, my health is not going to be a priority. So it turned into, how can I maximize my schedule during the week to make sure that like my health and my mental health was a priority. And like one of the things that happens a lot on a Monday, Wednesday is it's a long day. Shit hits the fan every Monday. Like there's always something. Like we have 5 doctors and 2 massage therapists and 3 front desk, and we have, 300 patient visits a week, which, so is actually like middle of the road. That's not considered high volume.
Okay.
It's considered mid volume. We could have more patient visits a week, but we have a lot of people interactions, and humans are humans and people, and I believe in moon signs. So like Mercury is always in retrograde. It's true.
I don't know what that means, to be fair.
Witchcraft.
Yep. Also have crystals in the house. So, I feel like it goes with the Cairo thing. And I was just a bad mom on days that I have no support, and I don't have support on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and sometimes Friday and Saturday. Like, Mitch is always good for a Tuesday, and depending on like what else is going on, and like that's fine, but I need to be able to go get my rage out somewhere.
And that's what you found with working out, is it gives you that opportunity to focus on you.
Yes. And if I can get a lift in, I can get a run in. Like my team even knows now, like on a Monday, like I have a weird block that kind of shifts up and down every other week based on patients and their scheduling. Like I am leaving to go lift so I can come back and have a hard conversation. Like I am leaving after like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'm going to the gym and I'm getting my lift in before I have to pick up my kids. And I'm just a better person because that's what I do. But people that say that they don't have time, I get that. Like I literally know what that's like. I have a husband, I have 3 kids, I have 3 dogs. I have a practice that's a baby. I have a team. Like my time is all accounted for in my day. I just had to find a way to stack it to make my priorities work. And so like I'm going to go to the gym, and if I have 45 minutes, I'm going to do big, heavy lifts, and I'm going to get the most out of my time in the gym. And Mitch won't believe me because he's worked out with me, and I can be there for 2 hours and talk to 20 different people and have done like 4 things.
She's very social in the gym.
Yes,
true.
But there are also times that I go in there and I like knock out heavy deadlifts, walking lunges, and heavy hip thrusts in 45 minutes with a kid in tow. So like it can be done. You just have to figure out like what works for your finances, or if it's not financially doable for you, like there's always something that can be cut somewhere.
Well, there's even home options.
Yeah, there's home options too, but I would argue that a home gym is more expensive, or in our case, more of a liability. I've worked out in our basement while our children have been in the bounce house, and Henry has launched himself off of something, or he's decided that he wants to throw 5-pound steel weights at his sister. That has happened.
That's a choice.
Right. So like to me, I can't go, deadlift 230 pounds. With Henry being like, "Oh, mommy, like,
Can I help?"
Right, which he has. Like he's tried to do that, and it's cute. But like that's another thing too. Like they see what we're doing, and like they copy me. Like Henry, if I'm working out in the basement, he's gonna work out with me. Like I want my kids to see that. Like I want my kids to be like, "Oh man, we're going to the gym again." We're like, "Yeah, mommy and daddy prioritize their health. Like, mommy had a hard day. Can mommy go work out so mommy feels better? Yeah, that's great. Okay, cool. Like mommy will be a better mommy if I get to do this. Please don't get me kicked out of the gym, Henry. Please behave."
Don't bite anyone. Don't hit anyone. Don't kick anyone.
The biting phase of raising children. We all went through it. We all go through it.
Right.
I mean, we went through it. It just happens.
But I mean, you and Jamie probably I want our kids to be those kids that are like, "Oh man, mom and dad are kissing again. Oh, daddy spanked mommy's butt again. Like, oh man, we're going to the gym again." Like, it's better than like, "Oh, daddy picked up a beer again."
Yeah, I'd rather pick up a barbell versus a beer. But then like last week I was seeing dads and kids working out together. And I was like, "Oh, I wonder when I can get Henry out of here."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or the girls.
Nice. All right, so let's move forward a little bit here. One of the things that you gave me as we prepped for the show was the main idea, and we've talked a little bit about this, about structure creating freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And you've talked a little bit about that, as well as afternoon rhythm, having a snack right away.
Mm-hmm. Snack with a vibe plate, snack with a trampoline.
That's your stack. That's your habit stacking.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And having a routine, especially for small children, having a routine. So shower, pajamas, bedtime routine, one-on-one time with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Let them pick out a story. Now that Addie can read, it's been pretty fun to see her trying to read some things.
Yeah.
Slightly frustrating because sometimes like one paragraph could take 20 minutes. Like,
yeah, I remember that. It's it can be challenging for sure.
Or it's like, what's that word? Like the. Like this is one of your heart words. Like we know this one. So I'm like, all right, let's just take a break. We're gonna go to bed. We'll redo in the morning. So
as we move into the next segment here of Quill's Corner, we have 4 rapid fire questions for you.
All right.
Rather than put you on the spot and have you give us some chiropractic advice. What's one simple health habit that actually can move the needle for families?
Putting everything in your water.
Putting everything in your water?
Yes, everything. Electrolyte packet,
okay,
creatine, some magnesium, like collagen. My kids love like a dirty water.
A dirty water.
Salty water is a huge hit. I can sneak almost any supplement in their water. My kids are supplement whores. They will literally shotgun like BioRay supplements. Henry's like, I want the blue one. I want the green one. I want the purple one. They're like, no, Henry, it's my turn. I get the purple one.
They fight over supplements.
Yes.
All right.
Tinctures, but
rather that over than a tablet.
Everything goes in water, and they drink a lot of it, and they get their electrolytes, they get their magnesium, they poop regular. We can drop parasite cleanses in their water. Like,
all right. What should moms stop feeling guilty about? Nothing. They should feel guilty all the time.
No, I'm like debating how deep I want to go. I think that moms should stop feeling guilty for having to be on 24/7, 365, and like wondering if they picked the right spouse. I think that every mom has this sense of mom guilt of like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You're just doing everything wrong, and you have to be on all the time. And it builds resentment to your spouse, and then they just inherently say unintelligent things. But I think you need to realize that like the person that you chose to marry at one point in time you thought was a green flag, and if you release them out to the wild, someone else would think they're a green flag. So just don't do that.
Well, all right.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah,
Sure.
I think maybe another way to say it is to give yourself to understand that there's no situation that's perfect.
The grass is not always greener.
Grass is definitely not always greener.
The grass is
Definitely
greener
not.
where you water it, and make sure your water has electrolytes, creatine, magnesium.
And
a little bit of pre-workout.
yeah, all those things are important for your
green
children. They're
supplements.
important for your spouse. Yeah, absolutely,
And for your grass.
and for your grass. What does a healthy home feel like beyond the food and exercise? Is it activities with children? Is it?
I think it's the amount of laughter. I think it's the amount of silliness. Our kid's current favorite thing is "Hey bub,"
Hey, bub.
but you got to get the raspberry at the end.
It's from
Got it.
Zootopia too.
Or
It's pretty good.
or "Hey butler."
Oh God, we have videos of them just running in circles, going, "Hey butler, hey butler," for like 20 minutes.
That's from a show.
No,
It's from Bluey.
was it Blue? Okay.
Yeah, but
right.
it's like one of those things that like if your kids can imaginary play and like they're involved, like they're creating things in their mind and they're playing games and they're like, we want to play mom and dad. Like that's like that's an indication like maybe we're doing something right because like they want to role play mom and dad or they are doing things together. Like nothing makes me happier than seeing the girls getting along and either teaming up against Henry or like the three of them doing something together. Like I'm like, oh, cool. Like hopefully when you're older, you're all going to be best friends. Like you're not going to grow up and hate each other.
Nice. All right, I'm going to reset this camera one more time, and then we're going to go into rapid fire questions about you and Mitch.
Oh,
Gosh.
Ella, here are the rules. The answer is going to be you or Mitch.
okay.
It's going to be me or Mitch. Okay. I don't want an explanation. All right. You guys can argue later on. Who is the stricter parent?
Me.
Who's the scarier parent when they're mad at home?
Mitch.
Who's the scarier boss at work?
Me.
Who caves first at work?
Me.
Who caves first at home?
Me.
Who's more organized?
Mitch.
Who's more likely to say we're fine when things are absolutely not fine?
Mitch.
Which of your kids is most likely to run a company?
Addie.
Which of your kids is most likely to rob a bank?
Ellie.
I love how there was no hesitation.
You said rapid fire.
Yeah, I did. And this one is open-ended. How would you describe the best family day possible?
Oh, Lake Geneva Day. Perfect weather, no storms, lily pad, 2 anchors so we can be out at the beach, multiple sun cruisers or maybe some tequila seltzers.
For the children?
Totally.
Yes.
I would go for some NA beers, but yeah, maybe a THC one.
Sounds like a pretty good day.
Yeah.
All right.
No storms. That's
storms.
the key. That's
is
the key.
We had a bad storm one day.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about some final takeaways here from the episode. A couple of notes that I made along the way of interviewing you here. Parenthood can actually make you better at being a professional.
Yes.
Habit stack. I'll be honest with you, that is not a slogan I have heard prior to interviewing you. I understand the concept, but the buzzwords of habit stack, I don't think I ever learned that before.
I feel like it's a female thing. You could probably put it in Instagram and you'd get a lot of women talking about how they habit stack.
I'm going to ask Jamie when I get home tonight if she knows what a habit stack is. And then I'm going to text you.
Habit stacking. Try
stacking.
ing.
Oh, I'm sure that'll make a huge difference. Habit stacking. I got it.
It's for the gram.
I got it. For the gram. And then parenting and working out together. If you can, honestly, I think this is a fantastic tip for parents out there. If you can find a situation where you can have your kids taken care of while you're at the gym working, and that's included in your membership, the value to that is astronomical. For your health, for your time, for finances. Genius.
Literally could get rid of Starbucks for $8 a day.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else you want to add for the benefit of the podcast?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about our parenting fail.
Oh, yeah. What's your parenting fail?
So we were supposed to, so our kids go to private school, but they go on public school bus. And so sometimes the schedules don't line up. And I put it on my schedule. It was there. But sometimes I do this thing where I add things to the schedule at the exact time they're supposed to be and not the time that you're supposed to be like leaving the house.
To go do the thing.
So on St. Patrick's Day, the kids had no bus, but they had school. So Mitch took them to school because it was a Tuesday. So it's his day to drive. And then we were supposed to pick them up in the afternoon. And so Mitch took me to Mago. We had a lunch date.
It's a very nice Mexican restaurant.
I had a margarita. Mitch had a margarita. We had some fajitas. And then we were like, let's go home and like get some work done. And we got distracted. And then got a phone call from school. And I was like, oh, shoot. Ellie's in the principal's office. And they're like, hi, Mrs. Quill. This is so-and-so. Are you going to come get your kids? And we're like, oh.
Yes, we are on the way.
Right. Luckily, our neighbor also did the same exact thing. So it was not just Mitch that was showing up late to get the kids from school, but also our neighbor as well.
Did you wait in the car so Mitch had to take the full blame?
No.
I stayed home. I stayed home.
Oh, so you got dropped off at home?
No. We were at home.
We were at
Oh,
home.
you were at home. Oh,
We were at home.
okay.
We were at home.
So Mitch
calls
was the asshole walking into
She
school,
calls and she's
clearly.
like, oh, no, we forgot to pick the kids. Like, all right, I'm leaving now. And I hear, as I walk out the door, Mitch is leaving right now. He'll be right there.
It happens.
Oops.
It happens.
Gave me one margarita and I got distracted. But then my timer went off that I was supposed to go get the kids. And I was like, dang it.
Oops.
I didn't
Gotcha.
do that. I did not put that alert right on my calendar.
Yeah. Anything else for the show? Any other thoughts you want to share?
Just know your school schedule.
It's a good parenting
Make
tip.
sure your shared calendars are actually linked.
That's good advice.
Harder than I think.
It's really actually difficult. Like for spring break, the flights still aren't on my calendar and he shared them with me. So he has to go like into my computer to figure out why. I have his other stuff. I have the podcast. I have all the chamber stuff on there, but not our flights.
Just imagine how much more difficult things were for our parents that did not have shared electronic schedules.
Well, I mean, they had full-time stay-at-home wives, so it was probably easier.
My mom wasn't. So, in any case, well, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
This was enlightening and entertaining.
Not as bad of a roast of Mitch as I thought we were planning.
Thank God.
I wasn't planning it. Come on now, that's just harsh.
So thank you for coming and giving us the real story behind the family, the business, the routines, everything it takes to keep our lives moving forward.
You're
Indeed.
welcome, baby.
I think the biggest takeaway from today is that households and businesses can look smooth from the outside, but sometimes they are not as easy as it might look.
Definitely a duck in water. Whether it's parenting, marriage, health, or entrepreneurship, structure really does create freedom.
Yep. If this episode hit home, talk to another dad, share it with a mom, maybe a business owner, to see that it is all possible. You can do it all. Be married, have small children, run a business, have a little chaos in your life, but you can make it all work.
It's great. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, follow along for more conversations of fatherhood, business, family, health, fitness, and all the chaos in the middle.
And until next time, we see you. Love your people. Take care of your body. Go make this week a win.